Hello, y'all. It's your guy AJR here, and this video want to speak on Bitcoin. Why I and others put an emphasis on Bitcoin. Our videos speak a lot on Bitcoin. There's other coins out there, but we're always mentioning Bitcoin. I want to put an emphasis, and I want to explain why I do so over other coins. Not that I'm shunning other coins. Not that I don't somewhat look into them, but there's a reason why I'm speaking on Bitcoin over and over, putting them into my videos, trying to shine a light on it. First of all, Bitcoin is backed by coding, computer coding, math. The math is part of the reason Bitcoiners get their conviction from, and it's backed by electrical energy. It's backed by energy. That's what it's backed by. There are 21 million coins, so there's a limited supply. I'm not aware of any other cryptocurrencies or commodities out there in this world that really have a limited supply. Usually, when something has a limited supply, the value of it tends to go up over time because the more it becomes where people start buying it. Like I said, the value goes up, and the more everyone wants one, and now it becomes rare. So 21 million supply, 21 million coins. Unlike the dollar, which can just be printed, the dollar just gets printed every day, which means the dollar becomes diluted, and it's not as rare, or it's not as it's cheap. Basically, you're getting poorer because what you're buying is reducing. So let me use an example. Basically, what you can buy for $10,000 today, in the future, in a couple years, you can't do so. You can't buy as much things with $10,000. It's because the money is getting diluted. The price of everything is going up, but $10,000 is still $10,000. Bitcoin is money. Bitcoin is dollars. Bitcoin is pounds. Bitcoin is euros. Bitcoin is shillings. So when you're buying this, you're buying money, and it's a limited supply. Unlike the dollar, unlike all these other assets. We use Bitcoin as a savings account. This is how we've learned and how you're supposed to be using Bitcoin, as a savings account, because it is money. And the more, when Bitcoin goes up, the price of Bitcoin goes up, however amount you put into it will go up the same amount. So if Bitcoin is right now, it's at what, 68,000, and it goes up 30%. You put $10 in, that $10 is going to go 30%. It's not. It might not go up. It might not look like it went up as much as what Bitcoin's price is. It's because it's the amount you have in there. But the more you accumulate, the more your amount will go up, because it's about math. It's about math here. So the more Bitcoin is, I would say it's the most popular cryptocurrency, but I'm not sure everyone understands what exactly it is. So you're looking at the price, and it's 68,000, 70,000, whatever, and you're a regular citizen, and you're thinking, I can't afford this. Is 70,000. Who has 70,000 laying around? You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy fractions called Satoshis. Bitcoin is very volatile, so there's cases where it will go up a certain amount of percent. It will go up It'll swing really high, and then it'll come down and it'll swing really low. So these are your chances when you do your research, when you study Bitcoin, when you see what the issue is with the current money system, you'll understand what makes Bitcoin so valuable. Bitcoin goes up in value over time, as in, and another, I'm going to use the US dollar again because I living in America. That's why I'm always using it. America's dollars, the value goes down over time because of inflation. So Bitcoin, all you got to do is hold it, do your research so you get that conviction to buy more, and also don't sell your Bitcoin. That's really important because it accumulates over time. It compounds it quickly, especially when there's a bull run. Whenever there's a time, it'll just compound and just over time, um, suddenly. So, or over a period of time, depends on what's happening, what's going on in the world, and there's different other factors. But you don't. What usually happens is, let's say Bitcoin drops in price really quick, and the world panics, the internet panics. They think Bitcoin is going to zero, or they think this, and they get nervous. They didn't do their research. They don't understand what Bitcoin is. They haven't read any books. So now they panic and they sell some, or they sell their whole thing. And that's the time when you should be actually accumulating more, because you understand what Bitcoin is. You know it's going to swing back up. You know the world. I just dropped a previous video of this. You know the world is slowly but surely adopting Bitcoin. So all you have to do is accumulate more. And even if you don't accumulate more, you hold what you have, and what you have, the value of what you have, is going to go up over time just by holding it, just by others getting into it. Somebody buys Bitcoin, Satoshis, and you already have some. It's gonna go up. So this is why you have to do your research. I mentioned the global adoption. Banks, they're all doing it quietly. They're not putting it out in the forefront for the world to see for a reason. They want they're doing their research. They're understanding what there is, and they're getting it slowly because they want to have that control, that power, where they can do what they want. They can lend it out to you, and have you pay interest. Whatever they decide they want to do with it, they'll try to do. They're doing it quietly though. Like I said, this is for regular citizens. You don't have to have a ton of money. You just gotta have some. You gotta sacrifice some of the fun you have, some of the trips. You just gotta sacrifice a little bit in order to try to secure your future. Bitcoin is supposed to be for 4 years. You're supposed to hold Bitcoin for at least 4 years. Like that's the least amount because of the 4 year cycles and how it runs. But if you do want to hold it long term, the better. But 4 years is the least. So in 4 years, and you know how volatile Bitcoin is. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up. The high today will become the low tomorrow, meaning tomorrow, I'm talking about the future. It'll become the low tomorrow. A lot of people like to look at Bitcoin and they look at the graph and it shows, oh, Bitcoin dropped this much percent. It dropped 50%, drop 40%, whatever. But if you look at a graph of Bitcoin and you look at from when it started to where it's now, to where it's at now, you'll see that it's just gone up over time. It's gone up over time. All you have to do is just zoom out of the graph and you'll see it just keeps going up. The high today becomes the low of tomorrow. It just keeps going up. It just has these small drops during its cycles where you think, oh my God, like it's about to end. But you have to do your research. If you look, search up a guy like Michael Saylor. He has a software company. He's buying Bitcoin nonstop. He knows what Bitcoin is. He's doing whatever he can to buy it, and he's leading this. If he's just one person, all these like I said, governments, corporations, all these people are buying it. If he's buying this, he owns like what, 2-3% of the network already. If just him alone, he just keeps buying it, Bitcoin eventually is just going to go up. And like I repeated earlier, a limited supply. Anything with a limited supply, the value is going to go up. Bitcoin is also called digital real estate. One of the best performing assets in the world. Has had 100% returns the last 3 years from 2022 to 2025. So if you put $100 in, you guaranteed got $200 at the end of the year. If all you did was put $100 in, that's just one investment. Imagine if you just kept putting in. And they're saying we're at a bull run where all these organizations are getting into it. What do you think is going to happen soon? You know, crypto can sometimes, like big whales, people with big investors. Sometimes it's rumored they manipulate prices because they have such a large amount and they're trying to manipulate at the right time. Maybe they're trying to shake you out because they don't want you to own it. So they bring the price really low so you get scared and you sell your position. Like all these, there's different factors into it. And I've already mentioned the two laws, the Genius Act, which are meant for the stable coins that have been passed, and then the Clarity Act, which is supposedly supposed to be passed sometime this year. Which, when this gets passed, all the banks are going to start owning Bitcoin, crypto, and then so they're going to accumulate as well because they want to get in front of this, and then prices are going to rise. So it's just things to be aware about. Media is not gonna, they're not gonna come out and tell you unless it's too late or they've gotten in front of this. So you have to do your own research and you have to get it and get a strong conviction and take some calculated risks for your future to secure. There's a saying in the Bitcoin community that you get in at the price you deserve. So you can look and think, this is nonsense. This is not what it really is. Or you might have all these questions about it. Trying to think of questions people would have about this. One in a lifetime opportunity. We'll see. The world's changing. Let's see where it goes from here. AJR, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. This is just bringing awareness to what's going on. You have to do your own research. You have to take your own chances. Date and validate whatever you got to do. But some important things going on that you might want to look into. AJR, I'm gone. Y'all be easy. I'll catch you on the next one.